Mom?
Got a secret, can you keep it?
You sucked my boyfriend's face at my party.
You don't belong here. Well, I'm not going anywhere.
Who did this?
Karen.
What's up, y'all? What is up? It's your girl EJ, and I am back with another review. Now today, y'all, we're going to be introducing a new show to the channel. This is going to be a first impression review over Pretty Little Liars, the original sin. Now, your girl was a big old fan of the original Liars, and I wanted to do a show that had some suspense, some drama, some thriller, horror type of movie. So when I saw this HBO Max original come out, I thought, hey, this would be perfect. So we're going to be talking about this first episode today and just kind of going through some of the characters and what we kind of learned. Now, because the show has already started, they dropped 2 episodes, and then I think there are 3 episodes total. I'm going to do like a quick recap of episodes 2 and 3 in a separate video, and then we're gonna start fresh with episode 4, which will come out tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get into this first impression video, y'all. Okay, yeah, so when the show first comes on, they're in a flashback, and this is a flashback to December 31st, 1999, so basically New Year's Eve. Now, the show takes place in Millwood, Pennsylvania, and pretty much, you get a glimpse of all of these girls. They're dancing, they're having fun, and then this chick is going to come in there, and she's going to be asking for help. Now, she's going to be grabbing the hands of a chick named Sydney, and then Sydney's friend Davy is going to be like, no, we said we weren't going to do this. And then Angela goes up on the lift, the whatever you want to call it, the loft thing, and she falls to her death. So she commits suicide, and basically all of these girls are just sitting there looking like, what in the world just happened? You know what I'm saying? So moving forward 22 years later, of course, we're going to be introduced to the same characters from the flashback, but also their daughters. So the first character that we're introduced to is going to be Davy. Now, Davy was the one who was like, we said we weren't going to do this. I would say she was probably like the leader of the group is what I would call her. But we still got to give more information before we can officially say that. But if I know a queen bee when I see it, and she looked like she might have been the one that was, in charge. Now, she has a daughter named Imogene. Now, Imogene just happens to be about 15-ish years old or so, and we're going to find out that she's actually pregnant. Her and her mom decided that they were going to raise the baby together. Looks like the father is not in the picture. Now, Imogene is going through a little bit of a time right now because her best friend Karen, yeah, I said it, Karen, is not happy with her right now. She thinks that Imogene kissed her boyfriend or something. I forgot how much teens could be so dramified, like so much drama goes on in high school. So anyway, she thinks that Imogene kissed her boyfriend, and so she's coming to get her things, and she's actually going to bring a letter in, and she's going to say that it was taped to the door, and she's going to give it to Davy because it has her name on it, and in the middle of the letter it actually has this capital A in red in it. Now, on the back of the letter, it's going to say, "Gone but not forgotten. You can't ignore the past forever. The countdown is on." Now, of course, as someone looking at it for the first time, we have no clue what is going on, but it definitely shook your girl, Davy. Now, you're going to see in the next scene, after the little fight scene between Karen and Imogene, you're going to see that Davy has decided to take her life, or at least that's what they tell us, that she killed herself. Now, ironically, she has this letter A right in the middle of the tub that she was able to write in her blood. So anyway, we're next going to be introduced to Sydney in her adult life, of course. So Sydney is the one that Angela Waters is holding her hand in that first scene of the show when she's asking for help. And Sydney is going to be the mother of Tabby. Tabby and Imogene, of course, are going to be friends. But for whatever reason, they didn't know that their mothers were actually friends. And so they didn't know that their mothers were actually friends in high school. And so they were actually really good friends. So it's just interesting how they did. Anyway, your girl Imogene and your girl Tabby are going to go off for their first day of school. And your girl Karen is going to conveniently bump into them. Of course, they tried to ignore her, but she's like, I'm not having that. And then she gives her this fake hug and she tries to act all concerned. But then she says some really rude mess to her. And I'm just like, okay, Karen, really? You are definitely a mean girl and a bully. So anyway, it seems like this is her MO, because then we're going to move forward to Mouse, who she's going to insult. And Mouse is basically going to tell her, you basic Barbie, F off. And then Noah, same thing. She's going to tell her she's not going to vote for her. She's basically just alienating everybody who comes through into the door. It's so crazy. She has definitely got Mean Girl written all over her. Now, a girl, Noah, is going to get a text message, and she's going to be the first one that actually gets a text. And that text is going to say, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Now, we'll talk about Noah a little bit later. Now, another text is going to come through to our girl, Tabby, and it's going to say, what's your favorite scary movie? And then she's going to ask, who is this? And they're going to say Peepin' Tom. Now, we'll also talk a little bit more about Tabby as well later. Now, the next text is going to be for Imogene. They're going to tell her to look out the window. Now, when she looks out the window, she's going to see all sorts of stranger danger out there, because that screams stranger danger. So the next text is going to be to Mouse, and it's going to say, can Minnie Mouse come out to play? XOXO Mickey. So we'll find out later about her name and stuff like that. But anyway, it just feels like somebody's taunting them, only they don't know that they're being taunted just yet. So anyway, we're going to meet our girl Farron. Now, Farron is a ballerina, and she is definitely that girl. However, Karen is very threatened by her for whatever reason. Now, when she walks in, Karen tries to call her over to ask her to vote for her for Spirit Queen, who she happens to be running all by her lonesome self, by the way. Just wanted to point that out. Like, literally nobody else is running for Spirit Queen. So anyway, Farron is going to ignore her and just keep walking, of course, but they are going to have class together. Karen's going to say some really mean things to her, because that's just who Karen is. And anyway, it doesn't matter, because Farron got the part, Karen didn't get the part, and that's kind of what she's salty about. So anyway, we're also going to learn a little bit of backstory about Farron. We're going to learn that Farron, first of all, her dance teacher is ridiculous. And then we're also going to learn that she had scoliosis. So she's definitely always in a lot of pain, but she wants to be a dancer. She wants to make it big time. She has big dreams, you know what I'm saying? But she has this thing that seems to be limiting her, but she's still very good nonetheless. So she's going to end up getting a text too, and it's going to say, you're going to slay at the Blacks as the Black Swan. And then she says, thanks, but who is this? And they're like, your #1 fan. Now, that has stalker written all over it to me, in my opinion. Like, that just sounds like stalker-ish. I would have been blocking them right from the jump. But, you know, everybody else was on their phone, so she don't know. It could have been one of her teammates or, you know, one of her fellow ballerinas or something like that. So I get it. So anyway, she's going to call her mom. Now, her mom's name is Corey. Corey is also one of the girls who was at that party that night 22 years ago. Now, Corey makes it a point to never visit Millwood High. She tries to avoid it like the plague. However, her daughter Farron is there with her what I believe is her ex-husband. Hasn't really said 100%, but I'm pretty positive that that's what it is, that's her ex-husband, but that's who Farron stays there with. And she's like, I'll come for you, you know, but you can tell that she really don't want to come to the high school. Like, it just must hold some really bad memories for her. So meanwhile, your girl Imogene is having to deal with these people at school. Like, I forgot how much drama really goes on in high school. Like, everybody does the most, like on a level 10 plus. So anyway, Imogene is in the bathroom minding her business, mind you, and she's about to come out, and these girls are out there and they're like, you know, they're trying to act like they're all concerned about her. And then the first thing they go and ask is, what are you going to do with the baby? And then they even proceed to kind of give us a little bit of background information, letting us know that the father of her child was a lifeguard. Now, in another scene, we are going to see Imogene sitting there in the sand. Looks like she's going to have some alcohol. So this could have been one of those drunken night things, and it was like a one night stand, and then she ended up pregnant or something like that. Maybe that's why the father is not in the picture. But anyway, those girls was just out of line. That is such a violation. That is just like, you don't ask nobody that. But anyway, Imogene is kind of just going through it. So she goes and talks to the nurse, trying to have a heart-to-heart with her. I think she was being really sarcastic at one point, but at the same time, I think in her mind, she was being really, really sincere. But she's like, hey, I think I've made a decision. I just want to have an abortion. Now, y'all, we know that this girl is like big, like she's 6 months pregnant. She definitely cannot have an abortion. But I think at the moment when she was asking for it, she knew that it was unrealistic. But this is what she was feeling, because she knew that when her mom was there, that, you know, she had somebody there to be there for her, you know, and the baby. They were going to do it together. And now it's just her. And she's just kind of feeling like, how in the heck am I supposed to do this by myself? So anyway, I believe the principal is going to end up talking to her after the nurse talks to, after her and the nurse talk, and he's going to be like, some people are feeling uneasy about you, you know, being here and yada, yada, yada. And we all know it was Karen. Karen went to the principal and said some dumb stuff like she always does. So in turn, Imogene comes out and she's like, hey, I'm running for Spirit Queen, because remember, she was running unopposed, so she was automatically going to be Spirit Queen because nobody else didn't want to do it. But now your girl Imogene is like, you know what? I think I'm going to do it. I think that I'm going to run against you and I'm going to win, just like my mama. Now what? So, anywho, we also meet Greg. Greg is the reason why these two are feuding anyway. He said that she tried to kiss him. She says that he tried to kiss her. So basically it's this he said, she said thing, and he won't come clean about it. I definitely believe Imogene. Greg seems like he is a class A douchebag, but that's just my opinion. So anyway, your girl Imogene is going to go back to her home for the first time. Well, it's not the first time, but her first time stepping in since her mom passed away, to get the sonogram that her and her mom did together. She's also going to find that letter at the time that we looked at earlier that had the writing on it about gone but not forgotten. And so that's definitely going to spark up some interest in her mind about this letter, because this is the letter that she received right before she quote unquote committed suicide. Now we're going to learn a little bit more about your girl Karen. Now Karen, I don't know how I guess I forgot to mention this because I kept talking about Karen so much, but Karen actually has a twin named Kelly. So it's Kelly and Karen. Now I was going to say I think Karen is worse, but honestly I think they're probably like on the same level in theory, but Kelly does have more of a conscience to me, and she has more of a softer side in my opinion. But we're going to meet their parents. Their dad is the sheriff. Their mom seems to be a stay-at-home mom more than likely, and she's kind of like she's a very interesting character, so to say. She's a woman of very few words. I can't say that she's going through any type of domestic violence or anything like that, but I bet you the dad is definitely probably verbally abusive in some sort of way, but we just haven't seen enough of it to really make that entire assumption. But the dad is just talking to Karen after she's telling everybody about her horrible day and all of this stuff, and he's just like, you know, shoot, you got to work harder. Like, that's what you have to do. Only he don't say it like that. He say it in a much harsher, worse way, like in no way that a parent should say it. But I'm just trying to give you the Cliff Note and the rated PG-13 version. Okay. So anyway, I told you we would talk about Noah a little bit later. So Noah actually got into some trouble, and she ended up having to do community service. I think she wears an ankle monitor, and she has to pee in a cup every single week for her for the nurse, and because Noah's actually an athlete as well. So all of this stuff is a lot, but she has to do this in order to be able to stay in school. Now your girl Noah is going to get a glimpse of this guy, woman, thing, whatever it is that has been popping up all over the place. They're going to be in the window. And I'm just like, how you get in the window? Like, are you just running around chasing after these people? Like, are you just following them? Like, what is going on? How do you always know where the heck these people are? So after she sees them, she's like, hey, I'm going to go tell the sheriff. She goes to tell the sheriff, and lo and behold, we learn a dirty little secret. Like, we have one of our first secrets, y'all. Okay? The sheriff apparently likes little boys. I mean, this guy has to be every bit of about 15, 16-ish years old. And here he is giving the sheriff fellatio. Wow. Anyway. So we're also going to meet Noah's mom. Now, if you haven't got the common theme, every last single one of these girls, their mom was involved in some sort of way. Not involved. I'm sorry. Their mom was at that party 22 years ago, and they seem to all be friends. So Noah's mom, I didn't catch her name just yet, but I promise you, once I go back and I started looking, when we move forward to the other episodes, I'll definitely get her name. But right now, she's just Noah's mom. And we learned that she is a nurse and that she works the night shift. So she leaves Noah there quite a bit by herself. Now, we're also, going to get to know a little bit more about them and their background. I want to say in episode 3, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not really even going to talk about it on this particular episode, but we are going to find out an interesting little secret about them as well. So anyway, your girl Tabby had a camera in the boys' locker room. I have no idea why. So here's another little secret. Like, Tabby has a camera hidden, and then she goes and she looks at the camera and she's writing some stuff down. And I'm like, girl, what type of research are you doing that requires you to look at these naked dudes inside of the locker room? I mean, now this is stalkerish. I'm just saying. So anyway, we're also going to learn that Tabby has a little bit of an admirer. Now, she is a big film enthusiast. So she makes films and she wants to be a producer or do something in the field of cinematography, TV stuff when she gets older. Now, we are going to meet the boss here, and I can't remember what his name is. They said his name like a couple of times, but I promise you, I forgot. So anyway, he's going to offer to take her home. Now, he's going to take her home, and then this is when we're going to notice that this don't seem like a good relationship to be in. Like, what is you doing? Like, you're supposed to be her boss. And we also found out that he went to NYU. So I'm like, did you graduate from NYU? Because first of all, she's like 15. Like, seriously, what is wrong with you, guy? And we're going to see him lean in to kiss her. But unfortunately, that figure that's been popping up everywhere else is also going to pop up. And she's just like, hey, drive off. And he's like, wait, let me go. Like, she like, nope, the Zodiac and something else. Because she's a huge movie buff. She's like, nope. And so they drive off. So basically, this person, whoever this is, has definitely showed up in a lot of places with all of them. Now, our last character that we're going to talk about, or that we're going to flash back to their mom, is going to be Mouse's mom. Now, Mouse's mom also, I have no clue what her name was either. Once we move forward, I'll learn all of these names, I promise, but I don't know what her name was. I don't know if they gave it in this episode. They probably did. I might have just missed it. But anyway, we're going to get to know her. We're going to get to know that she's kind of protective over Mouse. And doesn't want her to do a lot of things. And so Mouse is kind of, kind of deep into her phones and her devices and just this internet world, things that kind of like what she's created. So it's fun to see this character's kind of grow. So anyway, your girl Imogene and Tabby are talking, and they're like, hey, she's like, hey, I think it's really a good idea for you to do this whole swan princess thing or whatever it is. I'm pretty sure that's not what it is. It's the, I don't know. I forgot what it was. Just that quick, y'all. Don't hold me on that one. But the princess queen or something like that, whatever the queen thing is that Karen is in, that Imogene says she was going to run for Spirit Queen. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Anyway, so they're like, we're going to make some posters and you're really going to do this. So meanwhile, this guy, the janitor, that's all I know. I'm going to call him the janitor because I don't know what his name is. I might could like zoom in on his name, but like it's not that important because he about to die anyway, y'all. So not important. So anyway, he's going to go into this room. He's going to follow that character that's been running around all day long behind everybody. He's going to follow him into this room. And lo and behold, he's going to see all these crazy things. He's going to see a razor. He's going to see a rat. He's going to see ballerina shoes. He's going to see posters. So it's just crazy. And then he's going to try to call the sheriff. But before he can call the sheriff, this dude, woman, whoever they are, was moving fast. And I do mean fast. Like it seemed like they took like maybe 3 or 4 steps and they were already over there slicing his throat. So of course we got our first kill. I mean, besides the mom who I think was killed, but they said it was suicide. You know what I mean? So anyway, this is just a closer look at all of the things here. This is important because in this episode, it appears that the girls are going to be united by these things. So somebody's going to trash Karen's posters. Of course, they're going to blame Tabby and Imogene, and they're going to get called into the office. They're going to get detention. And then the next thing that's going to happen is that Karen is going to find a dead rat in her bag. Of course, she's going to blame Mouse for that, and she's going to have to go to detention. And then your girl Noah is going to test positive for cannabis inside of her drug test. She doesn't know why because she doesn't take drugs, but however, she's going to get detention too. And then last but certainly not least is our girl Karen has a razor blade inside of her shoe. And of course, the first thing she does is say, Farron, but you already have the part. Like, I'm like, girl, how you just gonna blame Farron for this? Like, you didn't even say, Farron, did you do this? She's like, nobody else would do it. Girl, don't nobody like you. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people that would love to have put razor blades in your shoes. So anyway, all of the liars are going to end up in detention together. And this is where they are going to start to talk. And they're going to realize that the reason why they're all in there is because of Karen. And this is going to give them the bright idea that they need to get back at Karen. And that's kind of where it starts. That's your introduction to all of the main characters, their moms, kind of what's going on in the story as we progress it. So once again, I am going to leave a catch-up video. I'm not going to actually do the catch-up video. They actually have like a little clip that they show you that kind of shows you everything that's kind of going on. So I'll go ahead and get that uploaded as well after I upload this video. And then that way, if you just want to see like a quick little recap of what happened, you can. And then we're going to start fresh with season 4, recapping and reviewing this show because I need to know who A is. Like, we got to figure out who A is this time around because they good with this whole A thing. Like, you definitely will be guessing and trying to figure it out. You'll change your mind. You'll be like, oh, it's that person. And then you'll change your mind again. So anyway, y'all, I'm excited to do this show. Let me know what y'all thought about it if you're watching Pretty Little Liars, The Original Sin. Okay, y'all, so that is what's up with Pretty Little Liars, The Original Sin. Once again, let me know what you thought about the show. Let me know if you're going to be watching the show. Let me know if you have any theories about who A is going to be this time around. And are you excited for Pretty Little Liars, The Original Sin? Guys, until next time, peace.